Welcome back to Boom and Bust. We continue our conversation with the Honorable Joe Oliver. Joe, you were just talking about the situation in the Middle East. Please continue with your thoughts.
What we need is both strategic and moral clarity. I
Right.
think on the strategic side, we have to understand that there are terrorist organizations and a terrorist state, Iran, that has objectives that are genocidal towards Israel, but highly hostile to the region and beyond, including the United States, which Iran refers to as the Great Satan, and Israel is I think the Little Satan. Um, this is a government that doesn't operate within the law or within the constraints that civilized countries have felt our minimum standards and in conformity with international human rights guidelines. They are enemies of Western civilization and democracy, and they have a kind of a cultish death fetish, and they must be recognized for what they are. And we're not talking about the people of Iran, the Persian people. I'm talking about the regime in Iran, and we have to conduct ourselves accordingly, without naivete, without double standards. And in terms of moral clarity, there is a clear distinction between a genocidal terrorist group that has murdered men, women, and children, and wants to continue to do so, and countries, or a country in this case, that is trying to defend itself, protect its sovereignty and its citizens. So the clarity has been absent in some quarters.
Well, let's talk about the Government of Canada's reaction to all of this. Maybe go into that a little bit.
Well, exactly. At this time, when Israel needs friends, diplomatic support, and military hardware, the Canadian government counted the votes, lost its moral compass, and voted for a resolution in the House, sponsored by the NDP, that basically rewarded Hamas for its terrorism. And this was very disappointing. And I think history will judge the party and the government accordingly. It's very disappointing, and it also exacerbates a related problem, which is the extraordinary rise in anti-Semitism in Canada and much of the Western world. I mean, I cannot recall a time ever in my lifetime or reading Canadian history any time in which there were this level of physical and verbal assaults on the very small Jewish community. This is not what Canada stands for. We rightly take pride in our tolerance and protection of minorities, and it's frankly disheartening, if not alarming, to see that happen.
Well, it was alarming as well to see the ceasefire now crowd, all these anti-Israel protesters who wanted a ceasefire, then celebrating a breaking of a ceasefire by the Iranian government with all the missiles and drones.
Right,
so that proves the story there.
Some of the fellow travelers are suffering from an extraordinary level of cognitive dissonance. I mean, perhaps the prize should go to Gays for Hamas. They would be defenestrated if they ever entered Gaza, and
literally.
You know, I was at the
Joe, we
kind
got
of
to
strong.
keep it at that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we are out of time. I really do appreciate all of your views on such a wide range of issues. Obviously, we have to have you back very soon, but thanks for being here today.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Tony. Bye bye.